Hello and welcome, or welcome back. It's me again, Deb Sherritt, and I'm so glad you've joined me here at What I Find Funny. Since it's literally my name, I'm going to share with you some of the experiences I've had and how it shaped my definition of the word funny. Laughter truly is the best medicine, and I tend to laugh at myself a lot when I find the funny in something I've done. Mind you, it usually doesn't start out that way. For instance, Honeybunch and I were on vacation in Cancun, Mexico. This was Honeybunch's first time to Mexico, and he was very keen on seeing all the archaeological ruins that dot the Yucatan Peninsula. When I was a young girl of 9 and 11, my family traveled extensively through that area and beyond and visited numerous archaeological sites. And that was the reason for our excursion. My parents were very keen on the Aztec and Mayan ancient civilizations and took their family of 2 boys and 1 girl on 2 of the most amazing trips that I will always be grateful for. These trips were vastly documented, not only in photographs, but also in a movie my parents made about our adventures through the jungles of Mexico looking for ancient ruins. When Honeybunch and I first met, I showed him the photographs my mother had taken and put into our Mexico albums, and he was fascinated. When I got to the ruins at Chichen Itza and the observatory, he nearly came off his seat. "Oh, I'd love to see that," he stated. And that became my mission, to get him to the ruins at Chichen Itza and in front of the observatory. It only took me 20 years, but I completed my task. On February 18th, 2016, Honeybunch was standing in front of the observatory at the ruins of Chichen Itza, gobsmacked at what he was looking at. 50 years ago, I was able to climb up into and inside that observatory with my parents and brothers, and my brother has the film to prove it. Back then, there were absolutely no security, and I've played amongst the ruins of many of these sites without limitations. On our trip to 2016, I was also thrilled to be able to experience climbing a site I'd never been to before. Very special for both of us to experience it together. The site is Koba, and the ruin is a 140-foot temple. It's quite the climb, and the view from atop is breathtaking, and we both felt as though we'd conquered new heights after that day. And so it was on that day when my experience takes place. We were hot and exhausted, riding on a badly kept bus from the ruins of Koba back to our hotel in Cancun. It's about a 2-hour drive. There's no air conditioning on the bus, just open windows, but they do have beer. Unfortunately, neither of us like beer. We're wine drinkers, and if you've followed my episodes, you'd know that. Once we were back at our hotel, we were at a crossroads as to what to do. Should we shower first, go eat, and then play some pool, which had become our new favorite pastime, or play pool, shower, then eat? We opted for the latter and headed for the sports bar. One of the reasons I wanted to play pool was I was hoping to celebrate our little victory of getting Honeybunch to the observatory and climbing the temple. It was a big day for us. And when we got to the sports bar, the pool table was already in use, so we just decided to sit and have a drink and wait to see if the players moved on. The bartender asked Honeybunch what he'd like. Honeybunch gave it some thought and replied with something I'd never heard before. "A Black Russian, please." I stared at him in disbelief. What? Was he being cheeky? I mean, inappropriate? I've never heard of a Black Russian and thought for certain the bartender would not be impressed. Instead, he smiled wide and looked at me, waiting for my order. "Well, what's a Black Russian?" I asked. Honeybunch said, "Vodka and Kahlua. Tastes like a nice coffee with a bit of a kick, and cold." That's how he described it. That was it. And so I asked for one as well. When it came, it looked a little darker than coffee, but it smelled great. And once that yummy goodness hit my lips and swirled around my tongue like a happy puppy with a new ball, I was sold. I sipped and sipped and sipped. Oh, yummy. Soon I was getting near to where the ice was almost without any of the Black Russian around it, so I asked our bartender for another, of which he obliged. Again, I sipped and sipped. Honeybunch got up to go to the bathroom and said, "Don't drink that too quickly or you'll be sorry." And he left me at the bar. I saw Honeybunch needed another drink, and soon so would I, so I ordered us 2 more. And by the time Honeybunch came back from the bathroom, I had finished 2 and was halfway through my 3rd. What I didn't know was the bartender was serving us double shots of each, 4 shots of alcohol per glass with ice. It sure didn't taste like 4 shots of alcohol. It tasted like God kissed a coffee and dropped ice into it. And it went down so smoothly, especially after climbing gigantic pyramids all day. This became known between us later as Mexican Black Russians. Honeybunch could tell that I was more than just 2 drinks in. I was all smiles and thought I had the best idea ever when I said, "Let's go and get showered so we can eat." Honeybunch thought eating was probably a great idea, but there was no stopping me from getting on that elevator and going up to our room. Once inside the door, I spotted the bed and made a beeline for it. It looked so wonderful, and I figured I'd just lay down for a moment while Honeybunch showered. Just a quick nap and I'd be as good as gold. Good as gold. When I woke up, it was early morning. The room was dark, and Honeybunch was snoring softly beside me. My mouth tasted strange. I felt dehydrated and found myself in the clothes I'd been climbing in the day before. Great. Honeybunch said that Black Russians were yummy and would hit me quick, but those Mexican Black Russians, they're outstanding. They send you up an elevator 7 stories high and you don't come down until the next day, and it becomes an episode on your podcast 7 years later. And that's what I find funny. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please share your comments and hit that like button and follow me so you know when new episodes are uploaded. And by all means, you take good care and find funny where you can.